I'm your Winter Springs community correspondent, Eric Von Anken. Tonight, a little bit of disappointment, especially here in this neighborhood, amongst these neighbors who've been flooded several times before, especially after Hurricane Ian. We told you last week, Winter Springs had just started its long-awaited, much-anticipated citywide creek cleanout. Well, since then, neighbors have learned that the cleanout, which is supposed to allow stormwater to flow better during and after a storm, is not what they expected. The creek cleanout continues for the next several weeks. First, this part, debris removal. 30,000 feet of it, cutting down and pulling out vegetation, trash, or anything else that's blocking the flow of water up and down the 6 main creeks that run through Winter Springs and empty out into Lake Jessup here. So the stormwater will surge through the creeks and culverts instead of up and over them like they did during Ian in 2022, flooding this neighborhood around G Creek and other spots in the city. Then, after debris removal, part 2, sediment removal. I told you about this last week. The backhoes are going to come in and dig out some of the sand that is stopping up these natural drainage canals, making them shallower and narrower. But neighbors just assumed that debris removal would be the same as sediment removal and run the entire length of all 6 canals here in the city. Not so much. These are city maps showing actual sediment cleanout. Crews are going to dig out just a few feet of sand on either side of a few of the bridges in the city over a few of the creeks. This one, by the way, here at Shore Road, is not going to be touched, according to city maps, and this road was washed out. Underwater, houses were flooded during Ian in 2022. Neighbors remembered seeing some of these maps, and they started asking questions. So I went to the city, and I got the answers for them. The city spokesperson tells me, quote, due to environmental protections for these creeks, we aren't allowed to take any action beyond the designated areas, which are at the points where sediment accumulates at crossings and only to their natural depth. You had water right through your front door during Ian.
Yeah, out here it was probably about this deep.
They're cleaning out 30,000 linear feet of debris, but only a few feet of sediment removal.
They need to be deeper. They need to clean out the sediment, and it just needs to be deeper.
Well, the city expects even just a few feet of sediment removal, along with 30,000 feet of debris removal, will make a huge difference for the next hurricane, and the city wants to start doing this annually. They're working on figuring out how to pay for it. This current cleanout is funded through a federal grant. For now, I'm your Winter Springs community correspondent, Eric Von Anken, News 6.